What's going on, Warriors? It's Coach Jay. Listen, in this episode today, guys, I'm gonna dive in. I'm gonna say which fibers are best for controlling your blood sugars. Now, the crazy thing about this goes for absolutely anyone. You could be someone who's a type 1 diabetic, a type 2 diabetic, a 1.5, gestational diabetes. You could be someone that doesn't even have diabetes. But knowing what the best fiber is to help to control your blood sugars can help to improve things like energy levels, can help to improve insulin sensitivity, which can help you actually improve your metabolic function, to help you to burn body fat, help you to build muscle. The list goes on. Live your life to the fullest, baby. If it's your first time on the channel, guys, I'm a diabetic fitness coach. I help diabetics control their blood sugars and transform their bodies. But listen, if you're not a diabetic, but you also like supplement reviews, and I also do vlog style videos also, so if you're interested in that, make sure you guys smash that subscribe button down below, hit that bell notification so you guys don't miss out when I drop a video, and hit that like button. It just helps my channel grow, helps me get out there, helps me just knock down these threes, baby. I got you guys. Let's just dive right in. I'm going crazy right now. Let's break down two main types of fiber. We've got your soluble fiber, you've got your insoluble fiber. Now, insoluble fiber, when you ingest this, you can get this from vegetables, fruits, whole grains. Now, all your plant-based foods essentially are going to have insoluble and soluble fiber, but just in different varying amounts. Now, insoluble fiber helps your body to create bulk, give bulk to your stool. So as this insoluble fiber passes through your digestive system, your body is not going to actually digest this, but again, it'll add the bulk to your stool, and this can help do things like constipation. When you ingest soluble fiber can more slow down the digestion of the food that you're eating, which can slow down the release of glucose into the bloodstream. And so as it passes through your stomach, the soluble fiber, and it combines with water, this can allow this to create more of a gel-like substance to become more what's called viscous. It increases that viscosity in your stomach. That's what creates that gel-like substance to slow down that absorption and stop releases of insulin from spiking too high. Now, if we think about this, even from a type 2 perspective, but you also think about it from a type 1 diabetic perspective, where maybe you might not need to use as much insulin, or there's certain foods that spike you really high off the bat. You can still balance that curve out as well. So we think about soluble fiber. Now when the soluble fiber hits your large intestine, that soluble fiber can then be digested by the microbiome in your body. And they turn those into short chain fatty acids, which are amazing for healing your gut, intestinal lining, and providing food for the good bacteria in your body to allow them to flourish. Prebiotics that your gut like to eat and feed on. And again, it's important for us to have a healthy microbiome, because that is the first stage to reducing things like chronic inflammation in the body, which can lead to other issues. Think about things like irritable bowel syndrome. Think about even things that look like allergic responses, which are really just your body flushing out some of these bad bacteria into your system, which are then causing issues because of the destruction of things like your intestinal lining. And so when we can feed the good bacteria in our body, we can create a healthy microbiome, which can then help us out overall. Think about things like neurotransmitters as well. We think about neurotransmitters just send signals that tell your body how to feel. So if you think about something like serotonin, this is your happy, feel-good hormone. 90% of that is created in the gut. And so if your body has a gut that's not functioning right because we're not consuming the right amount of fiber, you're going to wind up having a lot more issues as well in terms of how you feel. Also, dopamine, another feel-good neurotransmitter, part of the reward system of our body. That neurotransmitter, known as dopamine, is also very important, and 50% of that is made in the gut. So you see the importance of having good fiber for us to help to improve these processes. Now, the thing is, when we look at fiber as well, you can get fiber from vegetable sources, fruit sources, whole grains are all going to contain fiber. But if we really break this apart even more and we peel back the layers, we can see that there are certain fiber types that can actually help to improve things a little bit more than others, vegetable or fruit fibers. Now, a lot of times they're going to contain soluble, insoluble fibers, but at the same time, you can get, that'll break down into things like pectins, and inulin is another type of fiber, acai fiber, for example. And so you have different types of fiber that are more fruit and vegetable based fibers. You also have two other fibers that are very key to helping you slow down that release of glucose to balance things overall. And those are beta glucans and psyllium fiber. Now, beta glucans come from things like oats, barley, mushrooms, other fungi, yeast. And these have been shown to really help to enhance that viscosity we talked about earlier in the gut, and also help to slow down that release even better than vegetable and fruit fibers. Also, we look at things like psyllium fiber, and psyllium fiber comes from psyllium husks, and this is a type of plant you typically find in India. And these psyllium husks, the husks of the seeds of the psyllium, have a lot of what's called mucilage in them, and mucilage has a lot of viscosity. It's a gelatinous substance, so a gel-like substance on its own. Then we absorb that with water. Now you're ramping up the viscosity in your stomach with that mucilage from those seeds, which also create more of a thickness in the body to slow down that glucose release as well. So now we see the two fibers of beta glucan and psyllium being extremely powerful to help to slow down that digestion process and keep the balance of the blood sugars better, more so over having more vegetable and fruit fibers, something like pectin. Think about inulin. And why this is important as well is maybe you're somebody who's going out there to look for a fiber and you're like, what type of fiber supplement should I take? If you go and maybe you're gonna type in, let me grab an inulin fiber or a pectin fiber, but your goal is more blood sugar control and stability, improving insulin sensitivity, then you're better off going for a beta glucan or a psyllium fiber, because cereal fibers, and these are cereal fibers, are more made of things like whole grains, oats, barley. These types of fibers have been shown to really help slow down that digestion process more and help to improve insulin sensitivity more and that glucose release. Also, psyllium fiber as well, due to the mucilage that we talked about before, even though it is plant and it's not necessarily a cereal fiber like beta glucans, so the psyllium fiber is also really good at doing that as well in terms of improving and increasing that viscosity of the gel-like substance in our stomach that moves to our small intestine and that slows down that overall release of glucose. And practically, again, if you go out, instead, look for something like a psyllium fiber, look for something like a beta glucan, and then when you have it with water, because when you take that down, it's going to help to create more of that gel-like substance we talked about earlier. And there's a lot of studies that have shown the powerful impact of beta glucans and psyllium fiber to help to control the blood sugars. But there's one meta-analysis that was done in the Journal of Chiropractic Medicine, dietary fiber in type 2 diabetes mellitus, and they did a general overview of different meta-analyses. And the Journal of Chiropractic Medicine, the meta-analysis, it takes large groups of data that have already looked at fiber types to come to more of a conclusion on those results. And what they found, the cereal fibers, again, things like oats, barley, those fibers, when you break that down, specifically has beta glucans in it. And those beta glucans were really powerful at helping to prevent those incidences of type 2 diabetes. And this is also important for type 1 diabetics and people that are not diabetics, because on the one hand, our non-diabetics can help to control them and keep them from becoming type 2 diabetics by ingesting more of these beta glucans. But also what they see is a type 2 diabetic who has insulin resistance can improve that insulin resistance by having more beta glucans in their diet. And then a type 1 diabetic that might be experiencing some insulin resistance in their body and blood sugars that might be spiking, they might be able to get better control of those blood sugars by adding beta glucans to their diet. So it might be more important for a type 1, for example, if they wanted to try something like this to see how it worked, is to get a supplement and say, let's say maybe you're going to eat out with friends and family. You know you're going to have something that's typically is more higher glycemic index. It might spike the blood sugars higher and faster. Then you go and mix a scoop of a beta glucan into some water. Again, we want to get that gel-like substance to form a lot more readily. And now you're going to drink that down. When you drink that down, then you go out and eat and see if that helped to actually control the blood sugars even better before you went out to eat. And then on the other hand, we have our type 2 diabetics that can stir this and mix this up before they go out to eat as well to see if this helps to control and stabilize the blood sugars more. Right? And then our people that are not diabetics, again, can have it just as a preventative measures at times. Psyllium fiber is also great at doing this as well. Now, there's one key thing to remember though, is just because you're taking in a supplement for fiber, don't let that override getting whole foods in too, because whole foods are going to contain other vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, phytonutrients, all the things that are great at reducing inflammation in the body and giving you what you need to thrive through what you're going through. And so always have the whole food down packed, and then go ahead and use some of these supplements on the side to see and be mindful and notice how your body is reacting. And if it's beneficial for you, hey, keep riding with it. If not, then we obviously get rid of it. And that's the hallmarks of it all. So I hope that really helped you guys to narrow in on a supplement to try. And again, for me, I'm going with the beta glucans to try that out. And then if that didn't work, then go to the psyllium and see if maybe that helps give you a little bit better control.